Hi, my name is Rowena, Rowena Kasai, and I'm from Tigray Youth Network. Um, since November 4th, 2020, Tigray has been in the midst of a war and a blockade orchestrated by the Ethiopian government and allied forces. And this blockade has taken form of in the form of occupation, annexed land, telecommunications blockade, no access to basic essential services such as electricity and water, sexual violence, bombings, artillery strikes, destruction of cultural and historical heritage, intentionally done. And the only way to describe it has been because of a has been done to target and I think to hijack or erase so much of our history, so much of our culture, and a lot of this, in all honesty, predates November, but I think maybe before November it was more like systemic and like road closures, stopping observers of the election that took place in September 2020. But then after November, it was this really direct violence. So yeah, I hope that answers the question.
How does it make you feel personally?
How does it make me feel? I think I'm devastated. I think devastated is the only word to describe how monumental the loss and destruction has been. Also, it's this idea that who you thought was your home and your compatriots seemingly turning their back on you, campaigning or encouraging this really barbaric violence, has also been hard to come to terms with or to look in the eye. So there's that as well. So difficult, devastating. I think it's the same type of adjective.
What's your feeling about the way the wider world in general have ignored what's happening?
I don't know if it's naivety, but I think a lot of us just assumed, after some time, the international community would come in, there would be boots on the ground, there'd be UN peacekeepers. And again, I don't know what I was basing that off of, if this is just some flawed view of the world. But I've learned that a lot of it is just this selective, performative outrage for people who look and sound like those who are in positions of power. So, the outrage that perhaps is afforded to Ukrainians is not afforded to Tigrayans and other people in the global south, other black and brown people who are in the midst of genocide or atrocity crimes or just devastation. So that has been disappointing, but perhaps I was basing that off of whatever I thought the world was going to do was just based off of some flawed, naive view of the world. Yeah.
What's your message to the wider population here and abroad about what's going on and what action they can and should take?
So what was the first part of the question? Sorry.
Your message to sort of
Okay.
the wider population, firstly about what's going on, but also about the action they can and should take.
So my message to the world about what's happening in Tigray is, I don't even know where to start a lot of the time with these types of questions, but what's happening there, I think it's my home and it's my family, so I feel that much more affected by it, but it's, I don't know, it's like a scale of devastation and a scale of violence that I don't think has been seen for, I don't know, maybe Second World War. I think that's what's been reported or what some people have said, because it's been so rampant and has gone it has not been reported as much as it has, and I suppose we can attribute that to the fact that there isn't access for organisations and for journalists to go into the region. But still, you know, loss of lives in one place, or just solely, you know, focusing on one place, is really unfair, because there are multiple incidences of violence taking place in the world at the same time, and they deserve equal coverage, and they deserve equal amounts of outrage and campaigning. But it just doesn't feel like that. It feels really like you're shouting and no one can hear you, or like you're screaming and no one can hear you. So my message, I suppose, in summation, would be to ask people to care, to find a way. This feels very futile, but that people are dying. People will continue to die, and what's taking place is unfair. And I don't know what else to say. Sorry.
Those are all the questions I have. Is there anything else that you would want to say, or any other messages you would want to send?
No, I think that's it.